The royal silence that followed Meghan Markle's alleged attempt to reach King Charles III has turned into the palace's biggest unsolved mystery yet. Because behind closed palace doors and carefully curated statements, everyone is asking one explosive question. Did the monarchy quietly decide the Sussex chapter is no longer family drama, but a calculated battle of control now? According to circulating claims among royal watchers, the situation hit a dramatic turning point when communication between Meghan and the king reportedly reached a complete standstill, leaving observers wondering whether the loudest message was the one never spoken at all today. The silence itself turned into headline. For years, the relationship between Meghan Markle, Prince Harry, and the royal institution has been drowning in public disagreements, interviews, accusations, and moments that seemed impossible to repair. But this latest chapter has sparked a new wave of speculation because the question is no longer just family tension anymore. It is about power, position, and who controls next move now. Some royal commentators believe the palace's approach signals a major shift, less emotion, fewer public reactions, and a colder administrative strategy designed to prevent another media storm again. The biggest talking point is the alleged decision to shift Sussex-related discussions away from the king himself and toward the monarchy's future, represented by Prince William and Catherine, music Princess of Wales right now. If true, this would send powerful symbolic message indeed. In royal circles, access is everything. A conversation with the monarch carries different weight than a conversation through official channels always. So when the center of communication appears to change, people immediately start reading between the lines. Is this a simple organizational decision or a carefully calculated boundary really here? The controversy becomes even more intense when the name of Prince Andrew enters discussion again. Any comparison involving another royal family crisis immediately attracts music attention because it reminds the public of previous moments when the palace had to protect institution above personal relationships again. The suggestion that the Sussex situation is being treated with similar caution has created a wave of debate. Supporters argue the palace is simply protecting itself, while critics believe the family divide has become deeper than ever. Meanwhile, the alleged requests and negotiations surrounding a possible return to the United Kingdom have fueled even more questions. Rumors and reports have claimed that discussions involve security, accommodation, and the role of Harry and Meghan's children during any future visit. Whether every detail is accurate or not, the bigger story is the same. The return of the Sussexes to royal spaces continues to be one of the most sensitive subjects inside institution again. And this is where the situation becomes a real power struggle, because bringing the children back to Britain is not just a travel decision. It carries emotional weight, historical symbolism, and public attention. Question many observers are asking is whether the Sussex camp expected emotional pressure to change the palace response. After all, the connection between a father, a son, and grandchildren is something that naturally carries enormous influence. But the British monarchy has always balanced personal feelings against institutional responsibility. And if the palace truly chose silence over reaction, it suggests a strategy built around refusing to be pulled into another public confrontation. The most fascinating part of this entire drama is the contradiction at its center. The royal family is supposed to represent tradition, unity, and connection. Yet behind the scenes, the story appears to be about distance, limits, and control. Every unanswered message becomes a clue. Every public appearance becomes a statement. Every absence becomes something people try to decode as the Sussex story continues to unfold. The biggest battle may not be happening in front of cameras at all. It may be happening through closed doors, private decisions, and carefully controlled silence. Because in the world of royalty, what they choose not to say can sometimes create the loudest reaction of all. And with tension still surrounding future visits, security questions, and family relationships, this chapter may be far from over. The tension surrounding the Sussex situation only grew stronger as every new detail became another piece of a much larger puzzle. What began as a family disagreement transformed into a public battle over image, influence, and the future shape of the monarchy itself. The biggest mystery is not simply whether conversations are happening behind closed doors, but whether the old rules of royal negotiation have completely changed. For years, emotional appeals, family history, and public sympathy appeared to play a major role in royal conflict. But now, many observers believe the institution is operating differently, with structure and strategy replacing personal reactions. The alleged shift toward handling matters through official channels has become one of the most discussed elements of this entire situation. Instead of direct emotional exchanges, the focus appears to be on procedures, boundaries, and carefully managed responses. That change matters because the monarchy has always depended on symbolism. Who speaks, who appears beside whom, and who receives access are all signals that the public immediately notices. In a world where every photograph becomes a headline, even a simple change in communication can look like a dramatic statement. The arrival of Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, into the center of this conversation adds another layer of entry. As the future king and queen, their role is not only personal, but institutional. Any decision involving them carries the weight of the monarchy's future. That is why many royal watchers are paying close attention to how music, the next generation, handles the Sussex issue. This is no longer just about old disagreement. It is about how the crown protects itself moving forward. The most controversial part of the discussion remains the question of a possible return to Britain. A visit involving Harry, Meghan, and their children would automatically attract enormous global attention. The public would not only watch where they go or who they meet, but also who welcomes them and who stays silent. Every missing handshake, every absent appearance, and every locked door would become part of the saga. In royal drama, absence can sometimes speak louder than presence. The security debate has further added fuel to the fire. It has become one of the most complicated issues surrounding Harry and Meghan's relationship with the institution. Supporters argue that safety concerns must always be prioritized, especially when children are involved. Others believe the discussion has grown connected to larger questions about royal status and responsibility. Either way, the issue creates a situation where every choice carries public consequences. The most shocking part of this entire saga is how both sides appear trapped by the same thing: public attention. The Sussexes have created a global platform where every move becomes international news. But the palace has also learned that reacting too quickly can trigger even bigger storms. The result is a strange battle where one side appears to demand for attention while the other side appears intent not to be dragged into another cycle of headlines. And perhaps that is the biggest twist of all. The monarchy is no longer responding to every controversy in the same manner it once did. Instead of dramatic public clashes, the strategy appears focused on patience, silence, and waiting for moments to pass. To supporters this appears like discipline. To critics it appears like distance. But either way, the impact is undeniable. As the world watches the next chapter unfold, one thing remains clear. The relationship between the Sussexes and the royal institution has entered a completely different era. The old expectations of automatic access and traditional family reconciliation appear to be facing fresh limit. The unanswered questions keep on growing. Will there ever be a genuine rebuilding of trust? Can personal relationships survive when institutional duties come first? Or has the divide become something so deep to repair? Since behind the headlines, behind the photographs, and behind every meticulously selected public appearances, there is still one unanswered question hanging over the entire royal drama when the doors of the palace close. What decisions are actually being made inside? And as this story continues to develop, the silence itself may remain the most powerful statement of all.